new giveaway.
The D&D Beyond Players Bundle.
Tons of character options.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below on the video so you're entered to win a great giveaway coming from us very soon.
All right, guys. Jameson, Alex, coming at you with the next optional class feature, which is for the Warlock. Almost through them. Only one more after this one.
Right.
So, if you're new to this series, basically there are new optional features that can improve the base classes, and you can either give them to your players if you're a DM as rewards, or just they come to the session and you're like, here you go, you guys can do this stuff now.
Yeah.
Up to you how you want to implement them into your game, or if you want to implement them at all, up to you. But definitely some interesting options available to all the classes. And today we're talking about the Warlock, so let's see what they get.
Well, my job, spells. They get spells. A lot of them are new spells from Tasha, so it makes sense that those are listed as new to the Warlock because they didn't exist before. There's some other stuff, especially a lot of RP-based stuff, a lot of teleportation stuff. You got Planar Binding, Teleportation Circle, Gate, for example, that Warlocks didn't get beforehand. They can now. And, of course, if you haven't seen it, Blade of Disaster, the level 9 concentration spell, which is basically like so violent and so fun. But yeah, so that's kind of great and kind of fun, along with some other spells that are listed in here as well. 5 other cantrips, 5 level 3s, like the summon phase, summon Shadow Spawn, and summon Undead. Cool things that Warlocks could do that they couldn't do before. Also, you have a new Pact boon option with Pact of the Talisman. Your patron gives you an amulet. A talisman that can aid the wearer when the need is great. When the wearer fails an ability check, they can add a D4 to the roll, potentially turning the roll into a success. But if it used a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, all expended use when you finish a long rest. If you lose a talisman, you can perform a 1-hour ceremony to receive a replacement from your patron. The ceremony can be performed during a short or long rest and destroys the previous amulet. The amulet turns to ash when you die.
Ooh.
So you have Pact of the Blade, you got Pact of the Chain, you got Pact of the Tome. Now you got Pact of the Talisman.
Yes. One more option. And that's going to add in some synergy later on with the Eldritch Invocations, because you're going to get a bunch of those new ones as well.
4 or 5 specific to
yes, definitely some new options to change up the Warlock for you on the base class side of things. Then at level 4, we have Eldritch Versatility for those sticklers out there. When you reach a level that grants ability score improvement feature, you can do one of the following. The first option being replace one cantrip you learned from Pact Magic feature with another cantrip of the Warlock spell list. Another option is replace the option you chose for the Pact boon feature with one of that feature's other options. And the third option is if you're 12th level or higher, replace one spell from your Mystic Arcanum feature with another Warlock spell of the same level. If this change makes you ineligible for any of your Eldritch Invocations, you must also replace them now, choosing Invocations for which you qualify.
Right.
So if you start off as Pact of the Tome and you're like, whatever, I want to go Pact of the Chain now, but you have picked some Invocations that were related to that, you can also change those out as well.
So you're not
really
wasting those.
Shift.
Yeah, completely shift it.
Exactly.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Lets you experiment a little bit differently. And then the actual Eldritch Invocation options that were added in this book, we'll go through them in alphabetical order because that is how they ordered them. So if you're like, why are they doing them in this order? That's why. So first is the Bond of the Talisman, which is a 12th level Warlock Pact of the Talisman.
Better be good if it's that high.
While someone else is wearing your talisman, you can use your action to teleport to an occupied space closest to them, provided the two of you are on the same plane of existence. The wearer of your talisman can do the same thing, using their action to teleport to you. Teleportation can be used a number of times to get a proficiency bonus, and all expended uses are restored when you finish a long rest. So there's definitely some shenanigans that can be done with that.
I imagine like the scouting thing, like send the rogue, send the ranger, the monk who can move quickly as far as possible to scout and be like, what'd you see? Just blink them back.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely some interesting things are someone that you want to protect or check in on, or maybe someone's low on spell slots, or you have people you need to teleport out, and they can only teleport, I believe it's 8 people, and there's 9.
Oh.
You're like, take this. You're trying to teleport everybody out. I'll be there in a second.
You're trying to save a hostage. Yeah. And they're still in a cage. Hand him the amulet through the cage. Peace out.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Sneaky. Yeah, there's definitely some things like we've done.
Absolutely.
Another one on here is Eldritch Mind. You have advantage on Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration on a spell. Sure. Why not?
Straightforward.
Right.
Also, you have Far Scribe, which is a 5th level Eldritch Invocation, Pact of the Tome specific. A new page appears in your Book of Shadows. With your permission, a creature can use its action to write its name on that page, which contain a number of names equal to your proficiency bonus, so it's your limitation. You can cast a sending spell, target a creature whose name is on the page without using a spell slot or material components. To do so, you must write the message on the page. The page hears the message in their mind. The target hears the message in their mind. If the target replies, the message appears on the page rather than in your mind. The writing disappears after 1 minute. I got those backwards. I was trying to read and say. So yeah, so you get basically some free sendings to a specific people.
Yeah.
It's like, are you ready for this? This will be a weird reference for me to make here. It's like MySpace. You have your top 5. These are your free people you can send messages to. That's way back when.
Alex, you're assuming these people actually know what MySpace is.
I never even had a MySpace. But it was way back when. But yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Or these are your speed dial people. Back when that was a thing,
too. There you go.
And next up, you have Gift of the Protectors. It's a 9th level Pact of the Tome specific feature. A new page, I'm struggling with that today, appears in your Book of Shadows. With your permission, a creature can use its action to write its name on the page. Say a number of names, your proficiency bonus. It's like I just read that. Oh, wait, I did. With any creature whose name is on the page is reduced to 0 hit points, but not killed outright, that creature magically drops to 1 hit point instead. Once this magic is triggered, no creature can benefit this to finish a long rest. As an action, you can magically erase a name on the page by touching it. So this is essentially
Save them.
It's a level 4 Death Ward spell.
Yeah.
But you're not having to use a spell slot for it. It's just a Pact Tome feature.
All of those people.
At once.
Multiple people,
yeah. But once it triggers one, but you can pretty much have your whole party there. It's just going to save one person a day.
Right. Exactly. It's great. It's pretty solid.
That ain't bad.
Yeah, it's really not. Then we have Investment of the Chain Master, which, you guessed it, is a Pact of the Chain feature.
Never have guessed it.
When you cast Find Familiar, you infuse your summoned familiar with a measure of Eldritch power, granting them the following benefits. The familiar gains flying speed or swimming speed of 40 feet. As a bonus action, you can command the familiar to take the attack action as a bonus action. Not too shabby. Although, Find Familiar is not really the strongest kind of creatures out there, but it is what it is. The familiar's weapon attacks are considered magical for the purposes of overcoming immunity and resistance to non-magical attacks. If the familiar forces a creature to make a saving throw, it uses your spell save DC. When the familiar takes damage, you can use your reaction to grant it resistance against that damage. So, you get to make your familiar a little bit more worthwhile.
Yes. I just imagine you've got a cat and it's swimming 40 feet, so just zooming around in the water. That'd be hilarious.
Then at level 7, we get Pact of the Talisman feature, Protection of the Talisman. When the wearer of your talisman fails a saving throw, you can add a d4 to the roll, potentially turning the save into a success. Benefit can be used a number of times, equal to your proficiency bonus. All uses restored on a long rest. As Alex has become quite aware, with the magic item that I made for our campaign, a d4 to saving throws can be a huge difference. Especially when you're just right there on the cusp, and it's like
which
an
I seem
intelligence
to
save
be
or something.
So often.
Yes. So.
I'm averaging 4 or 5 saving throws failed because of the D4 because I roll 1 or 2 under what I need to make the save. And then here comes a 2 or a 3 on the D4.
Yep.
The insulting thing is when you're 2 under what you need and you roll a 1 on the D4, you're like, ow. But it happens. And finally, for the last 2, you've got Rebuke of the Talisman, which is a Pact of Talisman feature, but no level requirement. The wearer of your talisman is hit by an attacker you can see within 30 feet of you. You can use your reaction to deal psychic damage to the attacker equal to your proficiency bonus and push up to 10 feet away from the talisman's wearer. Super niche as far as the push, and not a great of damage, but it's a thing. Yeah, you could get them out of trouble if they're hurt though. That way, that way they can then, if their turn's coming up, can get out of the way without opportunity attack. So that part can be helpful. Especially if it's like a wizard or a sorcerer, it's got no health, it's getting swarmed by something. Or
right.
Peace out. And finally, Undying Servitude, which is just a 5th level prerequisite. You can cast Animate Dead without using a spell slot. Once you do so, you can't cast again if you finish a long rest. So it's a free spell slot for a specific spell, which never a bad thing for Warlock because somehow you're considered a full caster, but nobody has fewer spell slots than you do. Even half casters have got more spell slots than you do.
I don't know if they're even. I wouldn't consider them a full caster. They're like a.
They're a weird caster.
They're a warlock. They're not a caster.
They're just
they can cast spells, but they're special.
There's full martial, there's half casters, there's full casters, and there's warlocks.
Yeah, it's kind of their own.
They're their own animal.
Doing their own thing. But definitely lots of options available, especially with the Eldritch Invocations, to really change builds. I think that can make things more unique and customized.
That is one thing that is very unique to Warlock, is it's not... Warlocks are probably the most customizable class in all of 5e, because you've got not only your subclass to build around, but you could have the exact same subclass built so many different ways because of different Eldritch Invocations. So you're going to take Agonizing Blast and whatever the fart you want to.
Yeah. You take all the Eldritch Blast ones, and then you take whatever else.
Whatever if you want to. Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Pretty solid options on here. I think Pact, the Talisman, just opens up a whole new branch, because they can add more to that in the future as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the future. But guys, that'll wrap it up for today. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so our new videos are coming out, so you can be entered in that new round of giveaways. Don't forget,
Freestyle.
as we get to our milestone numbers, we're going to do more giveaways. So the faster we go, the faster we can do more giveaways. So,
and the bigger milestones means more wilder and crazier things.
Yes, exactly. So guys, always love to read your comments down below. Let us know your thoughts and what you want to see from us in the future. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.